I have a confession to make. I was a legal drug pusher. Now notice I said legal. There was nothing illegal about what I was doing. In fact, it happens every day. I did this for 20 hours a week. Now, I only did it for a couple of years, so I don't feel too bad about it. But let me explain what my job was, because I was actually employed to sell this drug. I would go into stores and I would visit with store owners and I would show them, persuade them, convince them to purchase my employer's product. Now, as I went into their stores, an interesting thing was happening. I saw lots of customers, sometimes long lines of people waiting to purchase and consume items made with this drug. In fact, some of them were over here at the machines dispensing their own liquid that was full of this drug. Now, in all fairness, my employer, the company that I repped for, had the ingredients written on their packaging. But in this very store, there were probably hundreds of other packages of food that had this drug in it, but they did not disclose it openly. No, rather, they even had on the packaging words like natural, low fat, low calorie, natural. Did I already say natural? I did. So low fat, natural, low calorie. And what was the other one that they had sometime? Oh, healthy. Yeah, that's really overused. But they would use these words on their packaging when in fact there should be a warning label on the packaging instead of those misleading marketing words. Well, by now you've probably figured out that the drug I'm talking about is sugar. And I know it's not really listed as a legal drug, but it should be listed as a harmful substance, especially when used in excess. So full disclosure up front, I'm not saying that we should never eat sugar. No, I ate sugar all the time as a kid, but we didn't have the effects on an entire nation like we have now. So today, what I want to talk to you about is 2 facts and then 3 ideas that I'm going to teach you. Now, the one fact is that sugar is a major cause of inflammation in our bodies, and inflammation is a major cause of disease and pain. I'm here to teach women especially how to avoid the agony of aging. And one of the ways to do that is to eliminate most of the sugar that you are eating. So today I'm going to teach you 3 things. First of all, I'm going to scare you. Secondly, I'm going to teach you how to find this hidden drug in places that you did not even know existed. And at the same time, we're going to recognize the places that you do see it and perhaps even partake. And then lastly, I am going to teach you how not to set a goal to eliminate sugar. Goals often set us up for failure and frustration. And so I don't do goals anymore, but I'm going to show you a higher way. And that's what you're going to be working on so that you can eliminate sugar, a lot of excess sugar. And when you do that, amazingly, you will also eliminate a lot of fat because your body's going to function properly. Your cells are going to be working. So let's talk about the scary part. Better to be scared by me in this video than to be scared by a medical diagnosis that you had no idea was existing in your body. And have you ever thought about why Halloween is such a scary holiday? It's not the, made up ghosts and goblins and the haunted houses and the scary monsters. No. Halloween is scary because of all of the sugar that is being consumed, especially given to our children. Did you know that on average, Americans consume 5 pounds of sugar? How often do you think they do that? Do you think that's like a yearly thing? No. Americans on average consume 5 pounds of sugar in a month. Wow. Now you might be saying, that there's no way I could do that. I only put 1 teaspoon of sugar in my coffee every day. So my question is, do you eat sugared cereal? Do you get donuts on the way to work? Well, we're going to get into that in a little bit. But that's a lot of sugar. Now let's talk about why we should be scared. Because the more that we eat sugar and the more sweeteners that we have in our food, then we have higher rates of overweight and blood sugar problems. Now, we know that being overweight, we don't look good and we don't feel good. But that is nothing compared about what's going on in our body. And then we have other problems like insulin resistance, which is why I very much recommend, and by the way, live the intermittent fasting health protocol. And I recommend that, as I said, and you can look at my videos about that, because that is what will help our cells be insulin sensitive, not insulin resistant. Okay, we also, with high doses of sugar, we have metabolic syndrome, which is where it's a combination of several different problems, pre-diabetes, and then the real type 2 diabetes. In fact, that is why I started the intermittent fasting, which, by the way, I'm going to start calling it intermittent eating. I think people are afraid of the word fasting. So if that's you, make sure that you watch my videos on that here in this channel. Okay, so we're going to have problems with diabetes, even pregnancy diabetes. So insulin resistance, though, is the base cause for many diseases, including mental function and cancer. But when I was a kid, my parents would always say, you know, if you eat anything with sugar, make sure you brush your teeth right after. Or my dad's favorite verb was rot. If you don't brush your teeth are going to rot. So think about it for a minute. We know that's a fact. Ask any dentist. Ask any dentist, because, you know, like sugar gets into the crevices, it gets in between our teeth, it gets way back into our molars. So we got to brush, and I teach my grandchildren all the time, get those germs out of there, brush, 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 brush. So we can brush the sugar off of our teeth. But here's something that you might not have thought of. Can we brush the excess sugar out of our blood and out of our cells? The only way we can do it is to not put it there to begin with. Now, for sure, we do need sugar, by the way, in our bodies. We need sugar for brain function, those kinds of things. We're not going to go down that path today, because right now we are talking about excess sugar and how you can be stronger than sugar. Now I've scared you, I hope. In fact, if I were you, I'd go do a little more research and find out about all of the other diseases that might come because of insulin resistance and too much sugar. I'm just giving you an overview today, but I hope it scares you enough to take action and quit eating sugar. The second thing that I promised to teach you today is, where do we have sugar hanging out in our house? And not just by the word sugar, but there are other words, because there's other kinds of sugar. Now, one rule that I like to have to become stronger than sugar is this: don't bring it in my house. That has really helped me the last couple of years when I've pretty much transformed my health. And I have lost 40 pounds by a few things, but one of the main things is I really reduced my sugar intake because I don't bring it in my house. I'm very cautious about what I put in my basket at the grocery store, because that's what will be in my cupboard, and then that is what will be in my body. So the first thing is, you have to recognize, where is the sugar, and know that it is also hidden. So when I was that legal drug dealer that I was telling you about, and I worked for the chocolate candy company, I always had cases of candy in my car. I would go on these sales calls, and so I would take samples to people. I was surrounded by sugar. In fact, before I took that job, one of the other employees that had worked there for a while, he said, you know, I put 20 pounds on after I started working for these guys. And I'm thinking, oh, not going to happen to me. I put on 20 pounds. That easy, because see, it was around me, it surrounded me. Not only was it in my car, so it was easy when I was out working for 4 or 5 hours a day, even though I brought food so I wouldn't eat my sugar. Oh, I don't know, this mint chocolate sounds kind of good. I need it for my breath. Yeah, it added up really fast. So that's where I knew it was coming from. And also, I had cases of this sugar in my house. It's interesting though, my grandkids would come over and I'd say, hey, do you guys want one of these peanut butter cups? And they're like, oh, Grandma, we're really sick of them. But Grandpa wasn't. Grandpa was not sick of that chocolate. He eventually did get kind of sick of it. But my point is that it was in our house, it was in my car. I needed to get rid of it. So eventually I quit the company. Now, I wish I could say it was because of, I didn't want to be around sugar, but that wasn't it. I'm not that noble. So let's just see, where are some of these things hiding? Because we know the obvious. We can tell if you brought home, a whole bag of chocolate from Costco or other big box stores. We know that it's there. But what I want to talk to you about right now is, where is it hiding that you're not aware of? So one of the things that you really want to be aware of is an ingredient that's called high fructose corn syrup. Be very careful about this, because this is in a lot of sauces, and it's definitely in juices. Oh, definitely in juices. So let's actually go on a little adventure and look at some of these different places that we will see sugar, and then I'm going to show you the not so obvious and some of the places that are on the label. But if you don't know to look for them, or you're not a label reader, you need to be now. So let's talk again about the obvious places of sugar in your house. And then we're gonna have this fun activity that you get to do. One of the first places I would look at is your drinks. Obviously soda, it's full of sugar. Mostly it is the high fructose corn syrup. Now, I know some people are like, okay, I'll just take the diet soda. I wouldn't do that either. They have a lot of chemicals in there, my opinion, but I'd be very cautious of that. But people don't realize that fruit drinks, especially those that you buy like in the bottle, like let's take for example like cranberry juice. If you've ever had real cranberry juice, it's just cranberry juice, it's very bitter. So what they do is they add a lot of sugar to it. So you go look on your labels. If you've got some juices in your cupboard right now, and I want to be really clear, I'm talking about added sugars. So look at the labels, and if you see high fructose corn syrup, that is something to definitely avoid. But even just regular fruit juices like an apple juice, grape juice, that kind of gives you too many spikes in insulin. So be careful of that. But today we're talking about the bad stuff. So look at your soda and your juices. One thing that I've just decided is that I'm just not going to eat candy. That was easy to do. Instead of saying, well, I'm not going to have a Baby Ruth and I won't have a Snickers. I'll just not eat candy. And then look at baked goods. Because baked goods, I bake a lot. Well, I used to bake a lot. You see some cookbooks right over here. And I started looking at proportions of sugar to other ingredients. And some cakes would be like the same amount of flour is the same amount of sugar, 2 cups each. Woo, that is like so much. So look around. Are you doing a lot of baking? Right now, I'm not telling you to get rid of it. I just want you to go around and see where it is. Where is it hiding, or where is it out in the open? You're going to be doing an inventory in just a little bit. But of course, then we've got sugared cereals. I mean, check out the sugar in your cereals. It is like eating candy for breakfast. What about sugared snacks? Like popcorn that is, what is that kind? Kettle corn popcorn. I love it, but it's full of sugar. All right, so go in your cupboard. Can you also believe that crackers have a lot of sugar in it? Depends on which one. Soup, it has sugar in it. Condiments, oh my goodness, ketchup, barbecue sauce, that's where you're going to see the high fructose corn syrup. So all these things that you might think, well, I don't eat sugar. Because if it's only candy that you don't eat, it's all in all kinds of other things. Check out your pasta sauces. We had a big sale a couple weeks ago at our local store, and I went to buy a few, and like sugar was the third ingredient. Salad dressing. I don't even use bottled salad dressing anymore. And I'll look at your regular bottled, name brand. You're going to see either sugar, so be high fructose. High fructose corn syrup is almost addictive, so you just keep eating the same thing. You just keep eating it over and over. Keep dipping that chicken in that barbecue sauce, and you think you've had a healthy meal. but you probably had, about a tablespoon more or more of sugar with that nicely baked grilled chicken. Processed meats, look at hot dogs or not, even your sliced turkey, sliced ham, all of those things have sugar in them. Okay, the main thing about this, about eliminating our sugar addiction, even our sugar cravings, which lead to addiction, and to become stronger than sugar, is not so, okay, I can get skinnier. No, it is to get your blood sugar regulated. But here's the thing. Once you cut down on sugar, then you also will cut down on your excess weight. So your body's going to function better, the whole thing. All right, so you've probably been scared a little bit, I hope. I hope you've been very scared. Now you want to look around and see, oh yeah, there's sugar there, and it's not just in the sugar bowl or in the sugar canister. And start being aware. And now I'm going to tell you the way to do it, because remember I said I'm not going to say make a goal. Instead, I have a process, and I call this my Healthy 100 Highway. And I start out with just a simple hack. Because when we set goals, it'll be like, okay, don't eat sugar for 10 days straight. And so you're really good on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, you've forgotten you ate sugar pops for breakfast, dang. And then the next day, okay, I'll do better. But then you got a sugar craving. Okay, I'll just eat, a corner of the brownie. They're the best part, and brownie's my favorite. And then before you know it, you've given up. All right, I didn't do it. And then you feel like a failure. So with the Healthy 100 Higher Way, you will not fail, because this is what you're going to do. You are just going to be aware and observe right now. We're going to start with a hack. The hack is to be aware and to write it down. Simple. We're going to start with a hack. It will become a habit. What does it say? 30 days that people think it takes to become a habit. But you got to keep doing it, because then that habit is going to become routine. It's like brushing your teeth. You just do it every day. You can feel your teeth being gritty. You got to go brush your teeth. But here is the clincher. When you go on the Healthy 100 Higher Way, you will soon develop rituals. It will become a ritual to be sure that you're eating without sugar. Rituals are enriched goals. They are the pinnacle of where you want to be. But see, we're not going to put a deadline on this right now. I want you to just keep checking out your awareness and your observation of the sugar until you get to 100. Once you have found 100, and I don't mean you have to go on a scavenger hunt. You can if you want to. Hey, do it how you want to do. But I'm just saying, in the course of your day, when you sit down to make yourself a turkey sandwich, check the mayo. Does it have sugar in it? Pretty sure it does. Say, okay, well, I'll just put yogurt on it instead. Check the yogurt. Does it have sugar in it? It probably does. And then check the sliced turkey that came from the deli or prepackaged. Does that have sugar in it or any derivatives of it? Probably does. Now, I'm not saying don't eat it. All I'm saying right now, we're just hacking this. Take a piece of paper, number it from 1 to 100. Do that. Don't just start writing it down. You've got to number it. You've got to know where you're at. And we're going to start in hundreds. That's why I call it the Healthy 100 Higher Way. So find, as you're just going along, those 100 items that you are eating. Try and write the amounts, especially if you do end up eating it, because you might say, you know what? I don't really want to put this mayo on my sandwich. Maybe I'll just get my avocado smash out. That's what I do. I love my avocado smash. And put that on there. Now, once you get to 100, then you can start doing an analysis. First, you were aware, and now you're going to analyze, and then you're going to take action. Oranges that I thought were really healthy to put in my Oriental chicken salad have lots of added sugar because they are in light syrup. So, you know what? Don't buy those anymore. I'm not saying throw them out. It's not going to kill you to have a few grams. But that's going to be on your list of don't buy. Don't ever buy anything with added sugars. I'm going to be doing other videos and like shopping and showing you, but I want to just get you ready for this fun exercise right now. It's how you hack away at that sugar craving, which becomes a sugar addiction. You are stronger than sugar. All right, sometimes I didn't feel like it, but I am stronger than sugar. So make the chart. Now, if you are in my wonderful group online in Facebook, and it's called Avoid the Agony of Aging, if you're in that group, I want you to post some of your findings. If you're not in that group, I'm going to put the link under this video so you can join us over there. Because you know what? You might not notice that there's lots and lots of sugar, even in some sugar that said, or some cereal that said healthy. So it's really fun. We want to have a really great community. Use it, share it, join our community. Now, remember, I told you that I wish I could say that I quit my job of being a legal drug pusher because I wanted to quit sugar. And remember, I said I'm not quite that good on my health, or I wasn't. But honestly, what happened is they just didn't pay me enough for my talents. So I decided to come and teach people how to get rid of sugar. But actually, I started on my journey to overcome my sugar addiction because I saw a picture of myself and it scared me to death. I saw what I looked like on the outside. I didn't realize I had this big belly. And when I saw that, I thought, boy, I got to do something about that. See, just looking in a mirror is not enough. You got to get a picture of yourself, and then you get the true picture. But that was my tipping point. Trust me, I'd seen pictures of myself at other times, and I didn't take action, but I did this time. It's been almost 2 years ago. And as I said, I almost lost 40 pounds. And yes, I did it because I did want to look better in my pictures. Let's be honest, we do want to do that. But more importantly, I'm scared to death of getting type 2 diabetes. My whole focus is to avoid type 2 diabetes because it leads to so many other bad things. You know, you get hooked on drugs. And so my motto in teaching other people how to avoid the agony of aging is to be pain-free, prescription-free, and bursting full of energy. And if you love that idea too, and maybe you're already on prescriptions, come on in our group anyway. Subscribe to this channel. We're not judgmental. You can do a lot to even reverse some of those things. We've had people that have gotten off of medication because they've gotten off of this drug called sugar. So stay tuned, keep subscribing here, and join us over in our Healthy 100 group. We'll have links to some of these other things below. Make sure you check it out. And you know what? Live a happy, healthy life free of agony and pain.